everybody, it's Amy Broderick, and we're here today with another Miracles and Wonders interview. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, we're doing interviews with people that have been using the tools of King John Smarty, the Jedi healing threads on Telegram, using the tools from Smarty's Corner, and just general what's been happening out there in the field. So exciting stuff every day. We're hearing about more and more amazing miracles that are happening, health stories, you name it. And I was super excited to have an opportunity today to bring on a fellow Jedi, Crystal Roberts. Crystal, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
And Crystal, where are you from? Where are you located?
I live in Lafayette, Indiana.
Nice, nice.
Which is by Purdue University.
Okay, awesome. And from us just chatting before we started here, you mentioned that you've been kind of hanging around the flagpole for a couple of years. I'm just curious, how did you find the Jedi Group and King John Smarty?
Well, ever since the lockdown and the censorship, I've been on a deep hunt for alternative sources of information, alternative websites that aren't in the mainstream due to the censorship. So Telegram, I learned a lot about, and I saw some of his interviews in someone else's chats that people posted. So I had to investigate how to find him, but it took me a while. It took me probably a year to find him, like on the YouTube, and to see his holotech products. And then I started seeing interviews where someone else had posted his interview in the chat. So once I finally found source directives was not until this January.
Oh, wow.
Where I joined the chats and everything. And so as I was on a quest for information, I would hear testimonials from people. When I finally got in all the chat groups, I saw some of his Zoom meetings, and that's how I got familiar with all the people's voices and who all is, a consistent party to, follower of his movement. And I just started participating that way. But I've kind of been behind the scenes because I've been unable to engage because I'm not financially stable, and I live month to month on disability, and my son's disability, and I haven't worked since 2013. So I basically just wanted to learn about the products, learn through people's stories and testimonies about how they used it, how it affected them, how it impacted other people's lives. And then I became a true believer. And when I started buying products, first some Jedis gifted me, some products. And then I printed off all the Holos, and then I would use them through my phone first before I bought a printer in January. And when I got a printer, I started printing them all off and charging my son's water and the Berkey filter and his food, and doing it 3-4 times a day, even playing the music that's in Source Directives Cocktails collaboration, and doing the eye repair vision one. And I learned that someone had wrote a testimony about, well, if you kind of wear your glasses, sometimes you're breaking the progress that your eyes were making by doing the frequencies. So I had to just put them away altogether and be like, no, I have to believe full faith in the eye repair holograms. And I ordered some glasses, but I just found out my shipment's on the way. And
yeah, so for new people, we have regular glasses that look kind of like a reading glasses with the clear glass. We also have like these are the sunglass versions here, so they have we have these as well. So those are a way that you can work on correcting any kind of vision issue that could be going on with the eyes. And they also do help with our abilities to not just correcting poor vision, but they'll work on other forms of vision too. So, yeah.
Yeah, so about my car accident. So I broke both of my leg bones in July last year, and I've never been away from my son. So he's 19 and he's, got autism and Fragile X syndrome. And my mom had to come from Delaware to stay with him for 22 days. And it was just the worst experience to be separated from my child for the first time in my life. And I didn't have a backup plan. Like, I didn't have someone who was going to take care of him in case something happened to me, or like, it really scared me. And, I quit all my medications. I got him off all his medications through the Holos and stuff. And we have just had better behavior. And, I've been getting testimonies from his classmates and his school teachers saying how he's showing compassion with students. He's participating more. So my testimony has basically been through my son, because I put all effort in healing my son. And then I had a bad knee, and I sent, requests to the group, and they, I've been sleeping with my wand, O2 wand, and, wanding the area of pain. And
but you use the wands, and so how did it take care of your pain with your knee?
Yes, it's been repairing itself. And since I've been doing this fast from 10 days of 40, I learned that your stem cells will remake themselves after like day 7. So I don't feel pain in my knee anymore. It's not popping like it used to be. And like, I was kind of limping sometimes, but then I realized that how weak my muscle was. And I was 50 pounds overweight. And since last July, I've lost all of that weight. So I think the release of the weight took pressure off of the knee, so it's not so stressed. And now I don't have a knee issue. And so now I've just been working on grounding outside in the grass and hugging the tree to transfer my energy. And if I feel stressed, like, my son was on a lot of medication, I was on a lot of medication, and just using the holograms and the technology, I don't even feel the need for medication. And I think our lives are so much better. The side effects are gone, the brain fog, so let's
go back to your son for just a minute, Crystal. So when you were first talking about him, let's just get a little snapshot of him. You said he's autistic, but what, besides being on meds, what has life been like with him? I think you had mentioned some things.
Hi, Brian. Say hi.
Hi.
You gonna whistle? He's like, okay.
He's like, what?
He wears earphones because since if he doesn't, he covers his ears.
His name is Frank?
No, Brian.
Oh, Brian. Okay. So so you said he would make sounds, but he didn't actually form words. Is that correct?
Yeah, say any words, and he would just make sounds, but lately he's been whistling. Like whistling, and I can't even whistle, and he whistles now, like every day, all in the afternoon he's whistling. He said he's been saying a couple words, and he's been more expressive. He's had more confidence to communicate, especially at school. Like I've been getting emails from teacher that said he used his device to communicate that he wanted to take a break, and he never asked to take a break. And he also, because he's always prompt dependent, like, no, this is what I tell them, that he's playing them like he don't know what to do. But if he really wants something, he knows how to ask for it. He knows where the buttons are. So he's just like had more confidence in himself and his abilities. So,
for someone that has an autistic child that's watching this right now, like what was your tools of holotech that you used with him? Did you have did you use the collage of autism? Did you use
I have holograms, and I also have all the collaborations, and I also like use the cocktail music to charge his water and his food. So 3-4 times a day I'm charging and activating his food and water. And I have like placemats underneath where he sits at, like this one's brain repair.
Yep, perfect.
And I have a bunch of those different ones, and the autism ones, I have them in his pillow, I have them in his backpack. I bought the hat from Smarty, so he has a hat. I just bought 2 more hats, to protect the brain.
Yeah.
And I bought him, well, he has the Helix bracelet, which just fell off and now it's gone. But he has the vibranium flower of life, and the necklace broke, so I had to. He had the older one, like the first generation one, but yeah, that one. And then I have this bracelet, like the one you just showed.
This is the older one right here.
Yeah, he had a black one, but it kept coming loose where you do the latch. Mm-hmm. So it's gone now. So I just bought him the new Love and Light one, that where you can pull it tight.
Yep.
Because it was too loose on him. He's got really thick.
You can hit these tighter too. You just have to go underneath the thing.
And I watched the video where this lady was showing how to make it smaller, and it was like the pop-up button wouldn't pop back up. So it was like,
well, these new ones are a lot stronger.
Oh, we have a whole different latch.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great. So those tools will really help a person watching this that wants to kind of have a little recipe of some. So what you've kind of done, which a lot of us Jedis do, is we kind of layer, right? We use the cocktail, we use the reloadable charms, we use some of the other reloadable product, like the ball cap you're talking about. For those that are new, it's a normal cloth ball cap, but it's actually got all the same reloadable frequencies that you see here in a charm. And so it's so if you're wearing it, it's actually really extra helpful for things going on with the brain, or say you have a migraine and things like that, because of the fact that it's directed right at your head. So
also the EMF radiation waves are constantly in the air beaming wherever you walk. So having that protection will keep those from bouncing in and
Exactly. And we do have EMF sticker. We do have EMF holos. There are frequencies already in the charms, and then those kind of carry around a frequency of the body, kind of like an orb of frequencies. So so we have a lot of that. That's actually, in fact, I even have it on my, I have like the 5G thing on the back of my phone. So extra protection that people can use in these. And so the holos and the sheets she was just describing, those are all free, so if you're brand new looking to start working with some of this, or the one that she used as a placemat and putting things under the pillow for her son and where he's working all the time and such, those are all other than a small printing charge, they're literally free. And those holos can make a huge difference. Just because they're free doesn't mean they're not that big of a deal. They're a big deal. I mean, some of these frequencies have cured people of cancers and depression and some major stuff. So anyway, we're not like a lot of places where our stuff is like, it's meant to heal you, and not like, oh, you have to buy stuff to get healing. No, we just like the extra pretties that Smarty comes up with, and Jazz, that are other ways we can bring in these frequencies. But anyway, that's just wanted to make sure we were tracking with that. And you were saying Yeah, and if you're putting those, are you putting those same sheets, say, by your Berkey filter?
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. Here's my Berkey filter. I have them all around. This is drinking water, and then I have all these sheets, and then this one that some Jedi's made for us. If you can see that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I use that every time I fill water, and then I also read them off. So I send my intention every time I'm filling it up, and I read off what all the holos are. And I also have like a photo book. Show you here. I have a photo book that has all of them in here that I printed off. And I read them all off each time I fill it. And I give it my intentions and I say done. And if I'm feeling more or less more confident, I get out my wand and I say, I heal you, Berkey. Remove the fluoride and, autism and all disease. And I think the constant reiteration is building up my belief system. It's building up my frequency, my energy level, and just being able to see the results personally. Mm-hmm. Because to be a believer, when you try to convince someone else to be a believer, you got to be a believer yourself. So you have to have zero doubt in what you're doing. So, because it's all from the heart. So right. How pure the heart is that you believe in it. And that's how it all works. So it's all love. And
exactly. Smarty will say, full faith and knowing, even opposed to believing. He's like, you just need to know. You need to know so deep inside your heart and your being that source has got you, or daddy, as we call him. And also, just in case someone's watching, there is Holosheets that have like almost everything that Smarty's created. I know we have a Jedi, Pamela, who just made up a brand new one of these that actually has even more. And I think it's gone into a second sheet. But if you want the shotgun approach, and you want every single one of the free holos, you can do these too. And you can do the bigger ones like Crystal was just showing, and those will cover, big topics that you want to handle, like autism or brain repair or whatever. But if you want to hit every single thing out there, you can also do this sort of stuff and line these under your mattress. And I know people that have done that with non-believers, and they have just sort of snuck them in under the mattress, under pet beds, whatever, and seen remarkable changes in the people around them. So, everything's frequency. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So talk about you had mentioned that you have noticed you're smarter. So talk about that, how that's shifted for you.
Okay. So how I'm so much smart, it's like overnight I became a historian, right? So it's like I have all this memory and I can speak clear and concise, where before I used to lose my train of thought in mid-sentence and have a lot of trouble communicating. And all of a sudden, like, I speak with clarity and I'm boom, boom, boom. And I got an answer for everything. And I can send people someplace, like I'm resourceful. Like, I know the websites, like, it's like all of a sudden my memory of everything is here. And I was a teacher for 7 years. Like, I went to college and got a degree, at Indiana University, and was a teacher teaching Spanish kids English. So I was an English second language teacher. So I speak 2 languages, and I raised my son speaking Spanish only because I wanted him to have his native language. And so I've helped a lot of people just for my personality, like how to get benefits, how to apply for Medicaid or get disability, because I've had this knack, or this part of my personality where service to others is part of me, and without even knowing it. And I'm like, well, I've gone through all of these things, and now I can help other Hispanic parents who have autistic kids who got denied and don't know what to do. And I went and met someone at the Medicaid office and filled out all their information. and they got it approved right away. And I told her, because I had to sue the school corporation for malnutrition and for what they did to my son when he was in 6th grade, and get him out of public school, put him in private school because they weren't caring for him. And he was in the same class with this one student, this girl. And when I saw her mom at Walmart, I was like, you need to get your kid out of that school right now. And she ended up taking her out right then and took her in private school. So I've been exposing and making awareness about, people's, it's like what you think is best for your child is not what the state thinks is best for your child. It's kind of like they do the bare minimum. So like, I've just become such an advocate in my son's health, which also helped me be a better advocate in my own life, and then advocate for other people that I see are having some kind of injustice. So I've tried waking up as many people as I could over the past 2 years, but they are so sleeping.
Lots of brainwashing. But what you're talking about with all the stuff you're working with your son, getting off your own medications, that brain repair, Holo's been right with you, helping him. So you're getting the benefits of it too. So I'm sure that's part of what shifted you. Plus, Smarty works with us all the time on our upgrades of our own abilities. So, so that can kind of kick in too for you as, my telepathy's gone through the roof since I've been with Smarty, so it's like we have all these skills, that start, and, some people join and they start remote viewing where they've never done that before or whatever. So there are these superpowers that kind of kick in at times as well too, but also just, what you're saying. And I watched you when we first started before the recording, and you were doing exactly that. You were like, what about this? And have you done this? And so it's great. And people really are going to benefit from your resources that you're providing with them with. So that's really cool. Do you have anything else health-wise that you wanted to share before we kind of segue into the money stuff?
I just feel like we don't have health problems now. And just the other day, he was like having some drainage because the heat index is up, and it's like pollen. And I heard there was a pollen awareness, notice. So I asked for healing in the request chat for Bryant's asthma, and so he stopped gagging on his own spit because he won't swallow it, and it went away. He quit doing it, and like bam, and I'm like, so
let's talk about that, because that sometimes isn't a tool people talk about very much on our Miracles and Wonders interviews, and that's the healing thread. So you've mentioned several times that you've put in requests and things like that. So let's tell people how to do that so that they know they can take advantage of that as well, because we do free healings there 24 hours a day.
Yeah, it's the healing and requests through Telegram chat. You just go to Telegram and type in healing and source directives, healing and requests.
I'll put the link and these things we're discussing today. They'll be in the comments below the interview, so you can resource it there. But like, what do? You go in and you describe the situation a little bit, and you include a picture of who needs healing, correct?
Yeah. If I had questions first, I went to the question and answer chat first, and then I'll be like, can you send me the link to whatever? And then they'll guide me there. So if we have one question, they'll send someone in the chat from the question and answer will send you to the healing request. And then you just say what you're bothered with. So what you need healing, I need healing. You say their name, you send a picture, or you can send a loved one or their name. And then like a Jedi in the chat will just write their name on a card and then print it that way through the generator. And then send a picture back, and then everyone will tag it, and they'll all
Reinforce.
Like a collective thing. So it's a collective sending the power through the whole group. That there's, you know, thousands of people. I don't know the exact number, but
it's a lot. It's a lot of people reinforcing that healing, and there is power. There's a tremendous amount of power in people coming together to support that healing. Everyone that goes through there typically gets printed through a crystal and healing generator, which actually resets the body's DNA blueprint. And then often they are also wanded with the crystal wands or the restorative wand. So they're getting kind of a double whammy there. In addition to, some individuals do our Smarty method, which is where we sort of pull out whatever's not working in the body, and or an organ that's not functioning, and we're replacing it with a source approved lit up organ that's going to, you know, get the job done. So that's what we do. The only thing that's really important on that healing thread is try to submit a picture just by themselves with no other family members. If you can, just crop it in and send it through, because we don't want it mixed in with DNA of another family member. So a lot of times people don't know that when they go in there. We'll edit it if it doesn't work, but yeah, that helps us move things along. So yeah. So that's a powerful tool. Smarty goes in there and reinforces those healings as well. So you're getting the Jedis who do this work every day, plus Smarty going in there. So you have a lot of support. And again, it's a free tool. So yeah.
So if you like have any personal doubt or you're going through something emotionally, you can just submit in the chat, and then someone will send a positive vibe out to you and give you some kind of reinforcement that way. So it's emotional support too, just if you're going through something. So I found that out too.
And we've used the thread not just for healing. We've used it for if someone needs to get a job or handle some financial issue, or maybe there's a court case, and, you know, different things like that we've reinforced and supported people with too. So there can be a financial healing, or, you know, something else that's similar, you know, stopping a pattern of abuse or whatever. We have broken out now. We used to just have it all combined, but now we have a separate thread for healing pets and animals in general. And then we also have one for missing children. So we have 3 different threads now that you can put requests in. Let's segue a little and talk about some of the money miracles that you've been experiencing. You had a pretty big one recently.
Okay, so how I started about the money was like before we just live on our Social Security checks. So, and I'm always at the end of the month, I'm like going a whole week where I can't buy nothing. Like I don't have any money. I've just been paying bills. And then after using all the holos and, you know, knowing that the RV is coming, I just started telling myself that I'm a millionaire. And I used the money attraction holo and I put it in like my wallet. And yeah, that one. I have it by my bed. I have it all over my house. I cut out pieces. I gave them to my friends and I'm like, put this in your wallet. I have them in my car. And so, okay, so I wasn't able to buy a product. So I put in the chat, is there anyone that can, you know, buy me a product? So I started out that way. And then all of a sudden I was seeing that things were costing less. Like at the grocery store, I'm like, okay, I never used to get sales or deals, you know, it was always, because I buy all organic food. So my grocery bill is like double, but then somehow it's made a way that money was not flowing to me, but it was making a way for it to flow to me without physical money. So that whole knowing that I'm abundant and I have everything I need I stopped unnecessary buying, like the compulsory buying that I was doing for like shopping therapy, buying things that you don't need. So then I was like seeing extra money in my pocket. And so then I was able to start buying products, and then I actually paid it forward and bought, instead of keeping the product for myself, I gave it to someone that I knew who needed it. And then I just participated in crowdfunding because it's cheaper. And then I've caught on to the sales, like the March sale and the April sale, the 50% off. And I'm able to buy things there. It seems like the only money I spend now is to buy Smarties products. Like I just buy food and then like just Smarties products. So, and I'm abundant. Like every day I tell myself I have everything I need. My bills are paid. I just know that I tell myself I got 20 million in the bank, and I just believe it. And that in the future, like everything's going to be free. That's what I say.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up a good point, because Smarty always says, you know, if you want your own healing, then heal others. So with you doing things to kind of pay it forward too, then it's actually another way that your gifting economy begins, and you help others, then that actually does come right back to you. I mean, Smarty was just talking about that the other night, about how he gave some homeless person, you know, $20, and he knows like daddy's just going to return that to him 100-fold. So, so there is a lot of, I've been witness to that too. In fact, I look around all the time, and Source will say, if something's been sitting around for too long, and, you know, he's like, put that into use or send it off to so-and-so, you know? And so I'll get some directive to like mail somebody this. And so that is something that you'll see in this community. There's a lot of generosity where people do gift, and for those that have challenges. And it's not like we have to have these tools to heal, because the free holos are potent and they do the job. But it is nice to have a wand, or to be able to utilize some of these tools. And they just build your faith in your own ability to be a healer. So yeah, so that's cool.
Straws too.
I love the straws. Yeah. I was just at my brother-in-law and sister's house sitting, and they have this fancy coffee maker. And when I was there a month ago, I found out they were using the wrong filter in the coffee maker. And so the guy said, stop doing that. Don't use that. He says, you're better off just taking it out. So I just threw a straw into the place where the filter normally would go. And so now they're getting not just purified water, but they're getting all of the frequencies in their little fancy schmancy Jura. So it's fun. And you can do that. You can throw it in a pitcher. You can throw it, and you can give it to someone when they're visiting and they don't even know they're getting frequencies. So it's a sneaky way that you can, you know, and it's great with children and that won't wear some of the jewelry. You can usually get them to use the silverware or the straw. So
I noticed that too with my son. Like he's never, ever wore jewelry and never wanted to, and always ripped it off. And then when I bought him this jewelry, he's keeping it on.
Yeah.
It's like he knows, he feels something, and he can't tell me because he can't talk, but I just know because we have like this aura over us. Also, I notice when I'm out in the community, I'm getting more people making eye contact with me, smiling. Before, you couldn't even get a person to make eye contact with you. They're just always walking with their head down. And now it's like I'm a beam of light, and it's like I'm a walking ball of light, and you have, like, I bright up the room. So
you do. Everybody does when they have this stuff on.
I feel so like
you're blessing and healing everyone within a certain radius. And that's the reason I think that most of us wear it, is because we know we're projecting it out there for others to benefit. And every time I walk out the door, I'm in the downtown Kansas City area, I see people in wheelchairs and walking with canes, and and I see them a lot. I know that they're being put in my path. And so
Right.
I get to walk by them, or I get to wand them and help them. And, you know, so it's pretty cool. But you had a big miracle with money that you shared recently. I want to hear that recap for everybody.
So I've been doing research, and I've been following certain people who've been learning about the Uniform Commercial Code and consumer law. And they were saying that in contract law, and since the United States was a corporation that's now bankrupt, everything is contracts. So he said to read your contracts, because everything is a negotiable instrument. Mm-hmm. And so I went through, I'm like, wait a minute. And about how digital currency is coming, because the fiat currency is gone and it's not even traded worldwide. So
you have you had a purchase of a car, right?
Oh, that's right. So the guy said that since the digital currency, read your contract, because if you have like a mortgage, the contract doesn't cover digital currency. So you didn't contract for the bank to change currencies. So it makes the contract null and void, and now you become a negotiator. So I recently bought a car because I totaled my car, which after I paid it off and everything last year. So I got out my contract and I went through it, and I'm noticing on 2 of the warranties that I purchased that come to a total of $3,000 are filled out for a car that doesn't match mine. Total different VIN number, total different year, different miles, different car. And I'm like, what? This is not right. So I went to the Black Laws Dictionary, because that's the only legal dictionary. Forget the Webster Dictionary, okay? They only speak Black's Law here. So I went through what contracts were and what void is and what voidable is, and basically a misrepresentation of fact on any contract is void. It's dead at infancy. It doesn't count. It was never going to be honored. So I read through the agreement, and it says if I paid $500 in case my car got stolen, that they would find it by the VIN number. Well, if this contract has a different VIN number, they'll never find my car. So they could just deny me. And I'm like, oh, that's fraud, because it's not even an honorable instrument, because the facts listed in the contract don't pertain to me or my vehicle. So I took those to the dealership, and I was like, here, we got a problem with my contract. And he's like, and this was like 8 months. This was last month. And I bought the car in September. And I was like, here, you go through this and see what you find. And they go through it and they don't find anything. I'm like, look again. And he's like, oh, these VIN numbers don't match. And I'm like, yeah, which makes it void. Like, we need to renegotiate my sales contract. And I said, if I wanted to go the long haul, I would say we have to renegotiate the whole purchase, because on the purchase agreement, it has these warranties listed here and they can never be honored. And I was like, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say, cancel those right now and give me my full refund. And then he went and talked to somebody and came back, and he's like, well, we can give you a prorated rate because, you know, it was last year. And I was like, no, you're going to give me a full refund because this is null and void the day it was made. So they did. And I got $3,000 sent back. Since it's through a loan department, they had to refund the money to the loan department, but at least I'm $3,000 paid off my car more than having. Awesome. It sold me a purchase agreement warranty on a used car when my car was brand new, and it comes with a warranty. And I was like, I wouldn't have knowingly purchased a used car warranty. Like, and then they said, well, that software program that we used on the iPad, we don't have that anymore. And I go, oh, I wonder why.
Well, that's cool. And, you know, when Smarty came out with this new holo, that's the money magnet one, it was designed to help us all attract more money opportunities. And I just spoke to a girlfriend of mine. She's having her house remodeling due to a plumbing and an asbestos issue. And she had her fridge in the center of her kitchen. It was the only thing left that they were working around. And she had the money holo printed out on the fridge. Well, the fridge ended up going out on her. And so as a result, she's getting a brand new refrigerator from her insurance. And so she's like, this money holo just got me a new fridge. And so it's going to manifest in lots of different ways. So I like people just to know that, like, yeah, you could see it in gifting. You could see it in a rebate. You could see it in your money stretches farther. I noticed that too. I went shopping this week and I'm like, everything was less money than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, when does that happen? It's always more. Always more. So I was like, this is awesome.
I was always going to the same grocery store, but they have more than one of that same Kroger, you know, Payless or whatever. So I went to a different location, and I saved more money at that location. And I'm like, it's supposed to be the same store. Like, I've never saved $35 on my groceries. It's always been like $9 or $5 or $3.
Yeah. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Smarty. It's good. It's good stuff. We all need more abundance. So, well, in closing, do you have anything real quick you still wanted to share as far as a product that you're using with great success, or holo, or anything else, or we pretty much covered it?
Well, I'll show you this area I have that I created. That I talk to every night, and I also bring my drinks in here. So I have this table, and these are underneath the glass.
Oh, nice.
Just clean it, and then I have this bowl with some crystals, and then the new earth currency.
The new earth currency. And I see you have a blown up picture of the money magnet right there.
Yeah.
Great.
So I got some advice to put some money in a tray next to your crystal, and then put homage to it, like your intentions, and somehow, and then I have these stuff I burned. See, I have my little source TV here. I have my Santo Paulo, my cinnamon sticks, and then some friend made me these. I haven't quite used them yet, but I do like the scent of the Santo Paulo. And then clear and protect area. So that's my little area I made.
I love your show and tell. That's awesome. It's fun to see
manifestation thing. So putting the money in a container like that, and then I also have those little source generator stickers, like the one that you can stick on your electric box. You know what I'm talking?
I do, the little sticker.
Yeah, I also use that to like charge my devices, but putting them.
She was talking about, those of you that don't know, this is Smarty starting to share these. These are new earth currency. So this will be a future way that we trade planetary wise from one place to another, because there will be a time we don't really use money other than to trade for something we don't actually have access to on our own planet. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, also, that currency and the products are for interdimensional travel, because also our bodies, each pressure point in our body has codes to let you be able to do that.
Well, and our bracelets are for, you know, moving through portals and things like that. And so, well, I love visiting with you and learning all these different ways that you've been receiving miracles and wonders from the tools. And you're an active student of the tools too, which is wonderful. And also you're paying it forward, and you're doing the healing work too, which is part of it. You know, some people come in and they just want somebody else to do all the work, and it's like, no, we have to kind of contribute as well. And that's when the greater results is when you're actually being an active participant too in the process. So
it's easier too, the more you practice on yourself for your loved one, and it gives you your confidence. So
Yeah.
then you like want to do that, and you want to secretly heal people, and you know, because a lot of people are not receptive, but you can like walk by them and say, I'm sending you
Exactly. Exactly. And you'll find that the more you work with the tools and actively participate as a Jedi, you get upgraded more and more through Smarty, you know, and that's something a lot of people don't mention, but it's true. It's like your own abilities, your own faith, everything grows, your connection to source and to daddy. I have a much stronger connection since starting with these tools. So it's beautiful. So I like to just, give all credit to Source and to Smarty and Jazzy and all of those Jedis that have been paying it forward and supporting the work that, you know, all of us are doing. So
and as far as the DNA upgrades, everything is within us. We just have to unblock and have faith, and everything will be activated within us when we're ready. But we got to want to be ready. We got to be wanting to receive. We got to be wanting to do it. I'm welcome this. I welcome this. And then it just comes to you, and then it's natural. So each time it comes more natural. And
exactly. But Smarty will accelerate those tools if you're willing and if you're receptive to it. And that's kind of my point, is that people don't recognize that coming in, but it's like, that's like a super amazing thing to have in your tool belt, knowing that he's there and he's supporting us. So, well, I'm sure we'll talk again sometime soon, Crystal. So thank you so much. And we'll see you real soon. Oh, and please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And please note that anything we've discussed, I'll have listed below here. And do check out the rest of the things on the channel. We've got some amazing new meditations, some tutorials, more miracle interviews, and we just love for you to kind of play around and see what we got. All right, take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.